Warning, this podcast is not vegetarian or vegan friendly.
Snorkers, good-o.
Prick with a fork. 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 Prick with a fork.
Hello there, you filthy animal. Welcome to another episode of Prick with a Fork, the world's only regular podcast all about sausages. My name is Duncan Barkes, I am your host, and as always, it's much appreciated that you've taken the time and the trouble to download this podcast from Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or maybe listening via the Prick with a Fork YouTube channel. As always, if you want to subscribe to that channel, it won't cost you a penny. And you'll be regularly updated whenever there's a new episode on YouTube, and ditto Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Follow us, like us, you know what to do, and that way you get updated whenever a new podcast episode drops. It is a podcast that talks about bangers, snorkers, sausages. We sample sausages. It's all about sausage chat, and it's always good to get your messages. We have an email address, prickfork@gmail.com, prickfork@gmail.com. Do me a favour, I'd love to just get a few emails from you wherever you might be listening. Doesn't matter if it's in the United Kingdom, doesn't matter if it's elsewhere. We do have listeners in Canada and also Australia, Spain, I think some US listeners as well. So if you have a few moments, just a couple of lines, that's all I need, just who you are, where you are, and maybe your favourite sausage. prickfork@gmail.com is the email address. You can also find us on Facebook, just search for Prick Fork, and on Instagram it's me under my name, which is the Duncan Barkes. A lot of sausage pictures go on there as well. So on Insta it's the Duncan Barkes, DUNCANBARKES is how you spell the name. On Facebook it is simply Prick Fork, and the email address is prickfork@gmail.com. Right, on this episode, the return of sausage news. That'll be here in a few moments' time. We also get joined by the fabulous Rory McAllister, partner in crime, fellow sausage fan, as we sample some Co-op sausages on this particular episode, which means you can try them out for yourself. They're available in Co-ops up and down the land. We're going to try Cumberland sausages from Co-op. They're slightly more premium brand, Irresistible. So we'll get onto that in a few moments' time. And can I just say hello to a regular correspondent, and I love getting your pictures. This is John Herbert, who often sends me pictures of stuff that he's eating in various parts of the United Kingdom, normally around the East Midlands, and he sent me a picture via Insta of his scran, courtesy of the Two Flags Cafe. He didn't have any sausages, but his wife Tracy had a small breakfast with one tasty sausage. He describes it as bargain grub, and if you fancy checking out the Two Flags Cafe, you'll find it on the A47 at Moorcott in Rutland. He says it's a bit of a biker's cafe. Right, thank you, John. Do send me any pictures via Insta, Facebook, or the email, but let's crack on with this podcast.
Prick with a fork.
Sausage news! Hot off the press in the Daily Mail, brides have shocked the internet by partaking in a strange ritual which urges them to bury a raw sausage the night before tying the knot to ensure sunny spells on their big day. As the wedding season approaches, many British newlyweds hope and pray to have good weather, as the UK, of course, is famously known for rain. There is now a new belief doing the rounds on, yes, you've guessed it, TikTok, which sees women planting a raw sausage in soil the night before their wedding. They believe that this will help keep the clouds away and ensure warm temperatures and bright skies. Natasha Bennett from East Lothian in Scotland was disappointed when she saw there was a 70% chance of rain and thunderstorms on the day she was getting hitched to her husband. She then, quote, took matters into her own hands and decided to bury a sausage in the woods as a last resort. Much to her surprise, her special day was filled with clear blue skies and golden sunshine. Natasha told the Daily Mail, "I discovered this on TikTok, and I can't let any future bride suffer. It works, I promise!" Exclamation mark. In the Lancashire Telegraph, ye old sausage shop in Union Road in a place called Oswald Twistle, I'll try that again, Oswald Twistle, is in the running for the Lancashire Telegraph's Best Farm Shop, Butchers or Deli Award. Sounds good. Jessica Leluga, who's 31, who co-owns the business along with Martin Tees, he's the one with the unexotic name, and they have a team of 8 people in the shop. She said, "We were honoured to be nominated for the award. It's lovely that our customers think of us when awards like this are announced." She went on to say, "We would love to win the Lancashire Telegraph's 2025 Butcher of the Year award. It would be a brilliant accolade alongside our other awards, such as the Hindburn Family Business of the Year 2024. The shop, which has been open since 2006, specialises in gourmet sausages with flavours such as chili, hot honey, Marmite, katsu curry, and mango, lime and coconut that make up some of the options currently on offer. Good luck to the Ye Old Sausage Shop in Union Road, Oswald Twistle, in Lancashire. And finally, courtesy of the Mail in South Cumbria, Bewley Sausage has been crowned the sausage champion at this year's Muncaster Sausage Festival. The event, held at Muncaster Castle over the bank holiday weekend, brought together producers, food enthusiasts and families from across the region and saw thousands of public votes cast during the 3 days of competition. Each day, visitors sampled entries from local butchers and artisan makers during the sausage tasting session before voting at the Sausage Monument. A number of fun games featured at this year's Sausage Festival, including sausage racing. Google it for more information. Each day had a different crowd favourite. The Melville Tyson was winner on day 1, Bewley Sausage on day 2, and the Cumbrian Bow Wars on day 3. The votes from the whole weekend were totalled, and the overall champion was announced on the Bank Holiday Monday by the Sausage Master. The Golden Sausage Trophy was presented to Bewley's company owner Catherine Stewart by Lona Frost Pennington. And that is the latest sausage news. Rory McAllister joins us as we once again sample some sausages or nosh down on some bangers here, though I recommend to any listeners of Prick with a Fork, do not use the word nosh in and around Liverpool because it's slang for something entirely different. Well, you could argue it's a form of eating sausages, but really, don't go up to a woman and say, "Do you fancy a bit of nosh?" I'll let you Google that and you can work it out for yourself. Rosa, how are you?
I'm Googling nosh.
Are you? Google nosh
yeah.
and Liverpool.
Yeah.
And what's come up? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I think my iPad's turning blue.
Yeah. Bit of slang for something, well, one might argue rather delicious, but a little bit saucy.
We'll get struck off.
This
podcast will be no more if we explain.
Spotify will stick a sticker on us, and Apple Podcasts will have us silenced. So listen, before we go ahead and sample these sausages for this week, and I know you're just waiting for yours to appear, so we'll get down to those in a second. Mine are in front of me here. I've got to just have a moan about this. So what we're doing, because we're true to our word, we're sampling sausages that are available across the United Kingdom. So as many people as possible who listen to this podcast can also get hold of the sausages that we've tried and try them for themselves. So we've done supermarket sausages in the last few episodes. You can get from your major supermarkets. We're focusing on Co-op this time round. And now I live in a place called Chichester in West Sussex. Very genteel market town, though it's officially a city because it's got a big cathedral. You know it well because you're into your sports broadcasting. To the north, we have Goodwood Racecourse, which is a fantastic place to go. To the south, we have some lovely beaches, the Witterings. It really is a cracking place to live, though it has changed. and not necessarily for the better. So I went to get these sausages for my local co-op, and in Chichester we have 3 actually, and I'm a big fan of the co-op. You know, got decent wines, because their wine bar used to work at M&S apparently, so you get some really good stuff in there. Also, my ones stock some local beer, so they have a little shelf which is about local produce, and it's predominantly because we have quite a few little bespoke breweries around here, so it's all good stuff. I went there to get these sausages for our podcast, and they're in the old fridge there. I opened it up, and I'd not noticed it before. And the sausages, along with other meat products like steak, the sausages were in a Perspex box, right? So you couldn't actually pick up the pack. You had to pick up a Perspex box, and had a label on there saying GPS tracker enclosed, all right? And there was also a little sign saying, you are being watched by CCTV. Right? And this really hacked me off for a number of reasons, chiefly because it shows we as a country have given up on law and order. Right? We're not trying to police it, we're just treating everyone as a criminal. So even old fat Dunk goes in there and he's going to try and nick the sausages, right? Because it's a Perspex box, we've got the CCTV there, and if he decides to waddle out of the shop, we've got the GPS tracker so we can find out where he's going. So how on earth did we end up living in a country where a £3.50 pack of sausages now has to be protected in a Perspex box with a GPS tracker, right? I mean, we should be nicking people for shoplifting, not making it hard for them and treating everyone like a criminal. And secondly, would it really make any difference? You know, someone decides to nick a packet of sausages and it's in the Perspex box and it's still got the GPS tracker tag in there. They walk out of the co-op store. I mean, I don't know what it's like in your part of the world, but it's almost hard to see a police officer some days, particularly in the high street. What are they going to do? Oh, hang on, someone's nicked our bangers. Let's dispatch a squad car to chase them down the road. He's turning right at the market cross. Right, he's just going over the traffic lights. Have you got him, Sid? No, I wouldn't
He's
call
heading
Sid
to the
anymore.
pub again.
He's heading to the pub again to flog his bangers. I mean, it's just ludicrous. But genuinely, I just thought it's a really sad state of affairs, isn't it? Where we now live in a country, a society where our sausages have a GPS tracker because they think people are going to nick them. And it's in Chichester. It's not bloody Brixton, all right, or Peckham, or some awful part of Birmingham, right? This is supposed to be well, it's not True Blue anymore. We have a Lib Dem MP, but you get my drift here. You know, it's supposed to be nice, quaint Chichester, but not anymore. So apologies for the rant, but thank you for indulging me.
Duncan, no, it's fine. As you know, Worcester, where I am, is pretty similar, actually, to Chichester. We are indeed a city as well. We're a small one. I mean, Reading, for example, which is near to where I grew up, is actually bigger. But my co-ops are they're not maybe quite as close as yours, but I do have 3 within the vicinity. And in the last episode, I charged around Worcester trying to find these porky whites. Yeah. And if you haven't heard the last episode, then it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Go ahead and have a listen.
It's on YouTube as well. We have a YouTube channel. You can have a listen.
And there, yes, all of the above. And I went into co-op, and the shelves were empty. It was like COVID all over again. So I said, well, what's happened? Well, first of all, they said, well, people nick stuff and we're not allowed to challenge them. Yeah. So that backs up your point that we've given up on law and order. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe you could go and nick some sausages from Chichester, and they're going to they're not going to challenge you. I mean, a guy your size and your stature, they're probably still they doubly wouldn't challenge you either. You think so? They'd probably just ask you for an autograph instead. Oh, it's that bloke off the radio. Oh, should we? So I went into my car and the shelves were empty, and I said, I'm after the Cumberlands. He said, we don't have any, and the guy looked really forlorn. And I said, what's the matter? He said, we've been hit by a cyber attack. And he said that with his eyes closed. Right. And I was like M&S, as in this is current news. So if in years to come you're listening to this is May 2025. So it may be old news. But he said to me, I said, well, what about the other co-ops? He said, you won't find them there. So I jumped in the car. I went along. Luckily enough, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Yeah. I managed to get the sausages that we are going to review, Duncan. So I've managed to cook them. Mrs. M has got them in the oven at the moment. And I've got my traditional bottle
you've got your bottle of grog.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Cider, here we are. So again, I've decided to drink supermarket stuff so that people can get hold of this. Well, when I say supermarket, I mean the kind of slightly higher echelon. So this is Henny's dry cider from the Frome Valley.
I've seen that.
6%. Yeah. Very nice.
I've got to be honest with you. I was doing something. Depends when you're listening to this podcast. Over the weekend on the radio, and I was talking to someone about cider. I don't have a great relationship with cider. I had a very bad experience at the age of about 15 with Diamond White. Which everyone goes, yeah, but that's just chemicals, mate. But it has affected me. It was on a roundabout in Goring by Sea at about midnight. It was a long story. It'd been a long day, and there was lots of booze involved. And we sat on the roundabout swigging lots of Diamond White, and I was very ill. And it's put me off cider. But I am slowly coming around to the view that I need to investigate it again at this my age of almost 52, because I'm missing out.
Yeah, you've gone wrong there, because I don't know for a fact, but I don't know if Worcestershire's to blame for your said incident, because I believe that Diamond White's actually made by one of the breweries in Stourport, the ones that make Crumpton Oaks. You might have seen that. That's exclusive to Tesco, which isn't a bad one. But speaking of reviews, actually, if anyone wants to read any of my cider reviews, just go to an app called Cider Expert and look up Rory Skywalker, and you'll find me right there. But that's enough about me plugging my other ventures.
Well, no, it's good, and we should. So I'm also just aware we haven't really properly told people what we're sampling this time round. So we're doing Co-op, and we're doing their Cumberland sausages. Now, I'm a big Cumberland sausage fan. Couple of Cumberland sausage facts here before we go through this particular pack available from your local Co-op. If you go up to the northwest of England, there are still butchers who will sell you Cumberland sausage from basically what's the word I'm looking for? They're not done in links, right? So you get Cumberland whirls, right? If you have a proper Cumberland sausage and not done in links, you get a whirl, like a coil of rope.
Lovely.
There you are. Coil is the word
lovely.
I'm looking for. There are still some traditional butchers in the northwest of England where you go in and they just have a big coil behind the counter, and they say, how much do you want? And they start just pulling the coil out with a load of sausage, and you go, stop there, and then they just cut it, which I think is great. Yep.
Let's go. Start the car.
Let's go. Let's do that. And the other thing is, there is a view that even though we're going to try Cumberland sausages here from the Co-op, and you can get them from butchers all over the United Kingdom, there is a view from some sausage connoisseurs and indeed farmers that it's still not a genuine Cumberland sausage, because the genuine Cumberland sausage was made from the Cumberland pig, and the Cumberland pig is now extinct. So
really?
There is a view from the farming community in the northwest that actually Cumberland sausages aren't real because they're not from the Cumberland pig breed. So there you are.
Oh, okay. No, that's fascinating, because I thought you were going to say it was like geo-locked, a bit like a Melton Mowbray pork pie. It can only be called that if it's actually made in the area. So this isn't necessarily about it being made in Cumbria.
It's about the breed.
It's about the breed of the pig that's used. Oh, that's sad to hear. I never like it to hear anything's gone extinct, particularly when it goes into sausages, because I quite like them. So I'm not a major fan of Cumberland sausages.
Why not?
So this is why. It's that they're too peppery, on the whole. Yeah.
But that's their, as you know, that's their main ingredient.
That's the main side ingredient.
I'm a sucker for a Cumberland sausage. I really am. Should we go through some of the ingredients in this so people get a sense of what's in there? We mentioned the black pepper. By the way, I got these for £3.50 for 6, I think, was the rate in my Co-op. Same for you? Yeah.
Me too, yeah, with the Co-op card. Hope you're using your Co-op card, Duncan. You're not, are you?
I'm one of my...
are you?
I've got so many cards.
Put it on your Apple Wallet or your Google
no, I don't trust that. I don't want stuff on my phone. Anyway, because I'm old.
Well, and the police will track you down even quicker in the pub.
When I go dashing out of the car and waddling up the high street in my packet of Cumberland.
With your headphones and microphone.
Rory, I've got them! Right.
There he is.
There's nothing massively surprising in here. I suppose there's a couple of things we need to highlight. They say that they're made with outdoor bred pork. That's a good thing. And obviously you've got the black pepper, which is one of the main ingredients. There's a hint of herbs in here as well. Remember, this is a processed supermarket sausage, so there's a lot of chemicals and preservatives in here. All right, we've had tons of conversation in the past about this. Make your own or buy them from a butcher, and that way you reduce the amount of chemicals and preservatives you're sticking into your body. But of course, not all of us are in a position to do that. So we do some supermarket sausages. So the pork figure here is 86%, which is all right, actually, I think, for a supermarket banger. What do you reckon?
Well, we must point out that this is actually the Co-op Irresistible range.
Oh, yeah, did I not mention that? Yeah.
Because you do get the other sort of standard range, if you like. But
Cheap,
yeah,
cheap is the word you're looking for, cheap.
I wasn't going to say that to a man of your stature, Duncan. It's just not in your vocabulary, is it, really, to do anything on the cheap?
It is in certain areas of my life, but yeah.
Well, I've never known you to be so. Co-op Irresistible range, as Duncan said, we've got an 86% pork content here, made with British outdoor pork. What I am liking, though, so far, I'm not so sure about the serving suggestion picture. All those sort of tomatoes and bits of herb. It looks like, is that toad in the hole?
I thought it was toad in the hole.
Yeah, it looks like
I wouldn't have tomatoes on that, would you? I wouldn't have.
No, but it says it's got coarse pork, and that's where I'm getting excited. And by the way, just because I don't like Cumberland sausages, by the way, here they are. Mrs. M has arrived.
Marvellous.
Just because I've said I'm not keen on them. One of these is yours, by the way, darling. So you're supposed to.
I've got one.
You've got one, have you?
3 or 2.
All right, I'll have 3 then. Okay, fine. Oh, great. Well, there you are. She's cooked more than I needed. So,
excellent
do you want to?
Stuff.
Oh, go on then. She's going to take
some
another.
serious sausage negotiation going on here.
That's marriage all over.
I know.
Compromise. I've put a dab.
Compromise or losing, depending on your viewpoint. Oh yeah.
So I've put a dab of Coleman's on the side, but first of all I'll do the taste testing without the mustard because I don't want that to shade.
I think that's good. So let's just go through the rest here. You're right. It's coarse pork. We've got water, rice flour, gram flour, tapioca starch, onion powder, black pepper, parsley, stabilizer. That gets you into some of your preservatives. You have nutmeg, mace as well. So for those who aren't entirely sure, most people know what nutmeg is. Mace, some people are not too clear on. Mace is the outer skin of the nutmeg. So if you try and picture this, nutmeg is like a little round ball, right? It's a nut that is covered by basically mace. So it's like a pea in a pod. There you go. That's the way of describing it. And that obviously gives it its quite fiery taste, as does marjoram, which is a really nice thing to see in a sausage. I'm a big fan of that. I use that in my chili.
Me too.
A bit of marjoram.
Yeah, lovely. Lovely.
Cayenne pepper, sage, thyme, and oh look, sausage skins made using calcium alginate.
Grrr.
Filth.
Grrr.
Beastly. Ghastly. Make it go away. So
let's not bother these bloody things.
Who'd want to nick these from the Co-op in Chichester?
Exactly. You get halfway to the door, and the automatic door starts to go, oh, sorry, I've just realised he's a calcium alginate.
Do you know what? Instead of having a yellow sticker on there going GPS tracker enclosed, they should just have skins made out of seaweed stickers stuck on there, and everyone will go, I'm not having that.
Can you imagine just like an NFL quarterback just lugging the sausages back through the store and just scarpering off to the probably the parent and child space that you've pulled up in because you were just nipping in.
You are so right. So we've gone through what's there. We told people it's the Irresistible range. We told them it's 6 for £3.50. Irresistible differs from the slightly cheaper variety. Right, so do you want to go first? Because you've got a couple there.
Yeah, why not?
I've got a couple here. I've not got any mustard on my plate. I've now got mustard envy, but let's crack on.
Okay.
Let's have a little try.
Yeah. Now, just a warning as well. This is the bit some people don't like. Sausage sampling going on here, and we don't want this triggering any reactions. But
well, you can be well triggered, but just don't complain about it to us because it's sausage sampling. So therefore, people eat. One thing I meant to say, when I put these in the oven earlier, and when I ripped open the cellophane from the pack, I got a real nice meaty kind of aroma filling the kitchen. I do like that. So when I put them in the oven, and they smell good, they look good, and it's going to sound weird. They look like a sausage. That is important. I'm looking at my cooked one here. Doesn't look massively coarse, but
no,
I don't know what your texture's like there.
Well, again, it's got that withered look to it that calcium alginate has.
It looks like. I was going to say something really unpalatable. I won't say it. But you're right. Withered is a good word. It's like someone's fingers hanging off the end of a slightly.
When you've been in the bath too long,
decayed
and your fingers.
body.
Yeah. Certainly don't want to nosh on that.
You're right though.
Yeah,
when you've been in the bath too long, it's a bit everything's a bit wrinkled.
I mean, does that mean I'm made of calcium alginate? I mean, this is.
Here comes Seaweed Man. Well, I can't. I need to.
It's made of calcium alginate.
That skin is a little bit tough.
Yes, it is.
No.
Oh, hot as well.
I like that.
Mine, actually.
I like that because I've got a nice afterglow, after burn of the pepper, which I like, which you won't because you're not a big fan of them. But that's nice. I feel like I've eaten something that I've meant to have eaten.
Right.
Cutting
this into
three. Gluten-free, by the way.
Okay. Oh, there's the pepper. Bang.
Yeah, it comes in afterwards, doesn't it?
On the back end.
On the back end. Oh, I haven't seen this before. They've got a little sticker on the front. Well, not a sticker, but a thing next to all of the kind of energy, fat, saturates, sugar, and salt ratios. They've got a little thing saying suitable for the air fryer.
That's right, it does say that. And also, have you seen the other caution? Be careful when cooking, as hot juices may squirt out.
God.
Now, although this podcast is called Prick with a Fork, we do not advise pricking any sausage.
Someone asked me about that the other. They didn't understand. I was telling them about the podcast, right?
Oh no, you're joking.
And they went. What's it called? It's called Prick with a Fork. And I always paused because I expect a little bit of a laugh, and most people do. And I went, right, that's quite self-deprecating, isn't it? And I was like, no, I'm not saying I'm a prick. What it is you shouldn't, it's like it's a sausage term about pricking a sausage with a fork. You should never do it. And some packaging has prick with a fork. Oh, right. Oh, I didn't know that. It was a moment I never really want to relive. What do you make of these?
Now, I'm being really honest. As we are honest, it's not because I'm not keen on Cumberland sausages. Sorry, I really paused there. It's because I'm gathering my thoughts. There's not enough taste for me. Already, before you even come to me for the final verdict, I'm hovering around a 5. Now that might change because I'm only halfway through the first one.
I've got a dog hovering around here. You might be hovering around a 5. I've got a slightly drooling sausage dog.
Oh,
you can have one later, but just don't tell anyone because the vet said you're becoming chunky. Didn't he? Which was a bit rich given the size of the bloke. Anyway, go on. What do you reckon?
With the Coleman's mustard. All of us.
Mustard covers up a variety of sins.
By the way, he's waving his fork at me. He's literally pointing his fork like he's going to stab me in the neck.
Oh.
Look here, young man.
So with the mustard, what do you reckon?
With the mustard, very nice. But the thing is, we're supposed to be just reviewing these off the bat, aren't we? Yeah. And the thing is that the pepper is there. I can taste certainly the cayenne, and can I taste the sage and thyme?
No, I can't.
No, I can't either.
I've got
or
the black
parsley.
pepper. I've got the nutmeg. I've got the mace.
Nutmeg.
I haven't got anything else.
Maybe a bit of it's onion powder, but I can certainly taste that. Water, rice flour, 86, and again 86% pork. I mean, they certainly taste meaty.
Yeah.
I'll give them that.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, they're growing on me. As I go into the second one, this pepper is really engulfing like the palate, and it's really quite rounded and quite enriching, and actually is quite pleasant, to be fair.
So I'm concluding for me.
I cooked these in the oven, by the way, Duncan. I think you probably did the same.
In the oven?
Mm-hmm.
You're always in the oven, yeah. For me, I like this. It's not going to get. It's certainly not an 8. It's not a 9. It's not a 10. But you're right. The more of them you have, you definitely get that lovely kind of afterburn of pepper. And I think. I don't think I'd want these on a barbecue, but I think I would want them with as my bangers and mash. on an autumn or winter's evening. This is what I'm picturing, Rosa. I'm picturing a big white ceramic bowl, a golden mountain of mash, 3 sausages, 3 of these sausages, because anything less is frankly robbery, and some onion gravy and some peas. I'd have that. It would be about 3 to 5 Celsius outside. Do you just lick your fork?
Yes.
Scuffer. 3 to 5 Celsius outside, and I'd be walking about half a mile to the pub. That's when these would work, because you'd be walking thinking, those sausages are quite peppery. Yeah, that was all right. Yeah, I wonder if they got Harvey's Ale on tonight. That's the kind of that's where you want to be.
Specifically, I'm like that though. I'll only go to certain pubs when I realise they've got certain things on tap.
Yeah.
I realised there was a pub we went to. Well, it's more like one of these gastro places. You'd hate it, but it does do Cornish Orchards gold cider on tap. So that was a bit of a winner, to be honest. But yeah, this Henny's, by the way, is going down very, very nicely. But
Go on.
I'm not massive on these. I wouldn't have them with bangers and mash because there's too much pepper, and I prefer to add some pepper to my meal if that's all the same. I'm going to give these a go on the barbecue, actually, because, as you say, the casings are quite tough, and I'm just wondering whether or not the barbecue will create a bit of crunch.
Oh, yeah, and a bit of crust.
Yeah, and then in a soft hot dog roll with a bit of mustard and one of these, and I think that's where I believe this sausage belongs in my house.
All right, so ultimately out of 10, what? You've necked that cider pretty quickly. Has it been a long day?
No.
Has it been
No, I've still got half a bottle left.
There's me policing your alcohol consumption with the word hypocrite stamped across my forehead in...
Oh yeah, I can see it. I can see it. I can shine a UV light on your head and see.
0.72 size. Right, so what are you going to give them?
6, and I'm wincing.
You are wincing. I'm going to go for 7.
That's generous.
It's all right. Well, but you know, you
always are.
You're not. No, well, it's not just that. You're not a big fan of peppery stuff, are you? And the sausage.
No. By the way, oh, there we go. My canine's now making a visit. Sumner, you're a bit too late. This is a beagle.
Yeah.
I know. You're having a good old sniff, and it is your dinner time. So
give it a plate.
It's got mustard on it.
Oh yeah, that's not good. No, don't do that, because I had a vet bill recently. That was about 400 quid. All right.
Yeah.
So you're doing 6.
Yeah.
I'm doing a 7.
That's generous.
That's good. So just to recap, for those who might not have clocked it earlier, they are Co-op Irresistible bold and peppery Cumberland sausages, 6 for £3.50. Get them from your local co-op. Rory and I have just done our verdict on them. We'd love to hear from you. So get hold of these, try them yourself, let us know. Marvellous. Rosa, as always, an absolute pleasure.
Duncan, you're welcome. I'm off to fire up the barbecue. See you next time.
Cheers, mate.
Prick with a fork.
Cheers, Rosa McAllister. You heard our ratings there for the Cumberland sausages, the irresistible Cumberland sausages available from Co-op. I just hope that you can get hold of some that are not in some ghastly Perspex box with a GPS tracker. What a shambles this country has become. Right, that is it. Thank you as always for listening. Love getting your feedback. prickfork@gmail.com to send us an email from anywhere in the world. Just tell us who you are, where you are, the kind of sausages that you groove. A reminder, on Facebook, you can find us at Prickfork. I mean, you know, say hello on there if you want to. And me, the Duncan Barkes, on Instagram. Always worth following. Lots of sausage pictures on there. Until next time, thank you for listening and happy sausage eating.
Oh, we've got bangers and snorkers. I'm so in love with those porkers. Sizzle or fry, that's what I like. As long as it's real, you'll never butcher my pride. I love my blood sausage, whether black or white. I'm like a hot dog in mustard. Since a new way of stuffing I've discovered. Oh, Bratwurst is fine, Brockwurst delights. Cumberland rocks with an onion side. Salami, Boudin, Savoy, I'm a pig hog high, oh yeah. La la la. As long as it's in her skin, it's fine.